What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about the complete history of the Nissan Xterra, which ran for 16 long years from 2000 to 2015. The idea of the Xterra was born when Nissan executives noticed the success other Japanese auto manufacturers were having selling adventurous, rugged SUVs like the Toyota 4Runner, Honda Passport, and the Subaru Forester, and wanted to get in on the action. Nissan's lineup already included an SUV in the Pathfinder, but it was more geared towards suburban driving. Using the frame of the Frontier, Nissan's mid-size pickup truck, Nissan engineers created the Xterra, which combined the space of an SUV with the toughness of a pickup. The Nissan Xterra was a two-generation, 5-door, 5-passenger, body-on-frame, subcompact SUV. This vehicle shared a platform with the Frontier, which, like the Xterra, is known for its long-term reliability and durability. Nissan engineers kept ruggedness and affordability at the forefront of the design process, leaving out many comforts seen in competing SUVs, meaning this car may not be the best for driving your kids to soccer practice, but perfect for a camping or hunting trip where you require a reliable car with more off-road capability than your minivan. Though belonging to a Japanese car brand, nearly every Xterra sold in the US was made in America, with the majority made in Tennessee aside from the 2013 to 2015 model years, which were made in Mississippi. Nissan sold nearly 800,000 of these vehicles over 16 years, with the 2000 model year being the most popular. The first generation of the Nissan Xterra was released in 1999 for the 2000 model year and lasted until the 2004 model year. The first generation had two trim levels, the XE, which was the base, and the SE. There was very few differences between the two, and the SE trim lacked things that most top trims had in competing SUVs, such as leather seats. The first generation also came with two engine options, a 2.4-liter inline-4 and a 3.3-liter V6. The smaller of the two engine options was the 2.4-liter four-cylinder, which put out 143 horsepower and 154 pound-feet of torque. Despite having a smaller engine, it still only got 17 miles per gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. Being the base engine, it was only offered with the base trim, the XE. To pile on, Nissan made the 2.4 ineligible to receive the automatic transmission or four-wheel drive, forcing those who just want a little better fuel economy to drive a two-wheel drive with a 5-speed manual whether they liked it or not. The larger of the two engine options was a 3.3-liter V6, which put out 170 horsepower and 200 pound-feet of torque until 2002 when it was upgraded to put out 180 horsepower. The V6 got slightly worse gas mileage than the four-cylinder, as you would expect, with 15 miles per gallon in the city and 17 on the highway. With the V6, buyers could choose between both trim levels, as well as between a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic transmission, and had the option to add four-wheel drive capability. Halfway through the first generation, Nissan gave the Xterra a facelift, changing its front-end styling. The interior was also slightly upgraded, changing the instrument panel and center console, expanding the glove compartment, and adding 4 charge ports, among other things. This facelift also came with an upgrade to the V6 as mentioned previously. An interesting addition to the 2002 model year was an option to supercharge the V6, but with only a small upgrade in horsepower to 210, very few people were willing to pay thousands more for a less reliable vehicle that still had mediocre horsepower for an SUV. The Xterra was completely redesigned for the 2005 model year, bringing it into its second generation, which lasted until the Xterra was canceled in 2015. This new generation greatly improved exterior styling and also increased the vehicle size by a decent margin. New trim levels were introduced, now offering the X, S, Off-Road, and SE. Though similar to the first generation, there are very few differences between them. Also with this upgrade, Nissan gave the Xterra just one engine to choose from, a much more powerful 4-liter V6, which easily overshadowed the dull and unimpressive engines from the previous models. The one and only engine offered for the second generation was a 4-liter V6 capable of putting out 261 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. It got slightly better fuel economy than the V6 before it, with 15 in the city and 20 on the highway, but it was still a gas hog compared to other more practical vehicles. Both transmissions were upgraded as well for the new generation, now being offered with a 5-speed automatic and a 6-speed manual. Also, like before, buyers had a choice between rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, though I don't know why anyone would get a vehicle like this without the 4x4 option. In a 2011 refresh of the Xterra, Nissan introduced the Pro 4X trim to the Xterra lineup, replacing the off-road trim. This trim added many off-roading features to the Xterra, including lights on the roof rack, more aggressive tires, upgraded Bilstein shocks, and an electric locking rear differential, among other things. It also had some small interior upgrades, like a leather-wrapped steering wheel and improved seating. The Pro 4X trim is still used by Nissan today on the Frontier and Titan, filling a role similar to TRD for Toyota or Z71 for Chevy. So like I always ask, what happened to the Nissan Xterra? After the 2015 model year, the Xterra was removed from Nissan's lineup for a multitude of reasons, primarily being declining sales figures, as well as pressure from the government to do away with heavily polluting vehicles, which the Xterra definitely was. Many vehicles similar to the Xterra were put on the chopping block around this time, like the Hummer H3 and the Toyota FJ, in large part due to environmentalist government policies that took hold in the 2010s. This left a large gap in the rugged SUV market, which is slowly coming back today. Despite the recent success in new SUVs like the Ford Bronco, Nissan still says it has no plans to bring back the Xterra. Nissan still has an SUV in the Pathfinder, but it lacks the masculinity and toughness that was once omnipresent in the Xterra. Well, folks, that is going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.